Welcome to the overworld. Today we're in my underground base here, and we're going to make 5 beacons and put them on top of a zombie spawner. Before we do that, I'm going to collect a little XP here. This is the first grinder I ever built. We'll do something a little different today. I'm going to let you see the entire build. I'm going to fast forward through the sections that are a little tedious and boring. Now the reason we're going to put beacons on top of a zombie spawner is because I'm building another base over there. And I want the powers of speed, haste, strength, jump boost, resistance, and regeneration just to make the build a little faster and easier. And the reason I'm going to record the whole thing is just so you can get a look at some of the features in my world here. Some people have shown some interest in that. And I want you to see how all this stuff goes together. The first thing we're going to do is go up to the nether and pick up some wither skulls. And we want to make 5 beacons, so we're going to need 3 skulls per beacon. I've already got a couple of them. Oh, holy cow. Oh, geez, these guys. This is really rare. I don't typically get pigmen spawning in here because I've got half slabs all over the place. Oh, geez, holy cow. They must have spawned. I don't know, let's see if we can figure out where I've got spawnable blocks. It's probably right on the nether portal. That must have been where they spawned. Could have spawned over on those blocks where the door is. Anyway, let's get rid of some of the trash that we just picked up here. And then we'll head upstairs to... I will drop off those little gold ingots we just got from those guys. Now, if any of you have seen my nether farm video, you know how we got this whole collection area here. This is where I store all the wither skulls I get from that farm. So like I said, we need 12 of these because I'm going to make, I need 4 more beacons, so 3 per beacon. Now I'm doing this entire build while I'm in my workout room on an exercise bike. As many of you know, I've got an Xbox set up with a large screen display in my exercise room because I like to stay fit and use Minecraft to keep my mind engaged while I'm working out. So let's go back to the overworld and spawn some withers. Over here I've got a water drop, takes me back down to that underground base I've got. We're going to go over and dump off some inventory because, as most of you probably know, taking on the wither can be a little risky. So let's get rid of the inventory in case we get in some trouble and have to respawn. And the way that I use to defeat the wither is I built a little spawning room at the end of a 2x2 long hallway. I think this is what most people do. There's a few other ways to do it, but that's just the method that I used. And I made a little rail system over here that goes down to that long hallway. And I've got a chest down there with some potions. I like to use potions of strength and regeneration when I'm doing this. Maybe a little bit of overkill. The other thing that I did is I cast in some obsidian above the room that I spawned them in. I did that a really long time ago when I was first in the game. And that made it pretty easy to keep the wither in place. The first time I did this, I spawned the wither and I didn't know that it was underneath a cave system. So he blew up and went up really high, and it became really difficult to defeat him. I actually had to respawn a couple of times, shooting arrows at him from underneath them and things like that. So that's why I put the obsidian in above him. Now that I've got this set up though, it becomes relatively easy to do this. So we're going to run down to the end of the hallway here and I'll show you how to spawn this guy. Now I haven't done this for a long time. I certainly haven't done it since before the game was updated. And you can see I've got the, you've got to put down 4 blocks of soul sand in a T, and then you put the skulls on top of the 3 on the top. So I've got the soul sand already in place here. This is left over from the last time I used this. And put the wither skulls right on the top. 1, 2, and then before I place the last one, I typically take my potions so that when the wither spawns, I'm ready for him. Notice I got a potion of healing here. Oh, looks like we're gonna have a little trouble here. Okay, must be since the update we can't spawn them in the bedrock. I have heard that you can't have blocks underneath the 2 blocks on the ends, so you have to have air blocks underneath the 2 blocks of soul sand on the end. Now, as you saw in the beginning of the video, I've kind of used these wither skulls to decorate out my area a little bit, so I'm kind of familiar with placing them, and then you got to use a pick to clean them back out again, but you get them back, so you don't lose anything. Alright, well, it looks like I'm going to have to go and get some more cobblestone here. Maybe. Let's clean this out. Put a cobblestone block down in there, and then I've got to put one back. Let's just run back, pick up the cobblestone. You can see all the cobblestone along the walls there. That's where I've rebuilt this thing after doing a couple of battles with the wither in the past. Now notice that this hallway is down at bedrock. This is really important, because the way this thing is going to work is after we spawn him, his head is going to be above the top of that little hallway that we're standing in. And since he can't blow down into the bedrock, he can't shoot projectiles at you from his head. Well, what they'll do is they'll just blast into the cobblestone. So you'll see that, but you got to make it so he can't go down, or then he will be able to nail you with charges coming from his head. So let me take out this here, so I have a little escape path, and then put a little cobblestone so I can place the skulls on top of the T. Now notice the air blocks are underneath the T, so this should work. Get a little something to eat. Done about as much prep work as I could think of. So let's see how this goes. Okay, now notice that's his health bar, that purple bar. That's going to go up to max, and then he's going to blow up. Attacking him now doesn't really do anything. You have to wait till after he blows up. And then you can start shooting the bottom of his body with arrows. Notice how he's not able to hit us because his head is behind the cobblestone. Yeah, once he gets down to half health, the arrows don't do anything. So that's when you gotta switch to the sword. I used to do this. The first couple of times I did this, I just had iron armor and no enchantments or anything. Oh, geez, I got the wither effect. Oh, you know, see, that shows you how much of a rookie I am. I can't remember how to do this. Oh, hey, that was pretty easy, actually. Even with the wither effect, we took him out. All right, so we got the nether star. That's really cool. Outstanding. So we'll light this thing up. I'll show you kind of mayhem and destruction this guy causes. You can see where I put the obsidian down. You don't really need the obsidian in the floor unless you're thinking you're going to be in the same room battling him. I've had that happen where I fall into a hole where he blew a hole in the floor and I was kind of stuck, and it just made the battle a little bit more difficult. But it's really helpful to put the obsidian in the wall and then have like a layer or two of cobblestone around it. If you're going to use the room like I do, you know, more than once or twice. You know, if you don't want to do that, you know, you could just dig a hole and, you know, dig a tunnel and set up a little room, and just make sure, like I said before, that there's no caves around or anything, so it doesn't explode and, you know, go launching up. Okay, well, I'm gonna cut out now, I think, and so I'll replace the little bit of obsidian and all that cobblestone, rebuild the hallway off camera. Then I'll come back and we'll take a look at a couple more battles with the wither, collect our stars, and we'll head off. Be right back. Alright, we're back from rebuilding the hallway and everything here. I went up and cashed in some of that XP too, in case I get taken out by a wither. I don't want to lose all the XP that I had and everything. This time I think I'm going to hang around him a little bit longer and get a better look at what he looks like. I'm almost positive that he won't attack me until he explodes. So let's see how that goes. Alright, there we go. Hanging right out next to him. Let's see. Yeah, he's looking right at me, but nothing. Oh, that's really cool. I better get out of here. Okay, he's almost ready to blow up. Yeah, there he goes.
Okay, outstanding. Let's see if we can do a little better job than I did last time, taking them out.
I've noticed that I put in this ring of obsidian here to try to slow him down a little bit, but you know, he blows right through it. Doesn't really do too much. So that's why, although I put a little bit of obsidian in the walls and in the ceiling, I still put a little layer of cobblestone around it. It kind of helps to prevent the obsidian from just getting destroyed when he blows up.
I think I'll fast forward through the next couple of battles, and then we'll head up and make our beacons.
Okay, we've collected our nether stars here, and now we're gonna hop in the minecart, head back to the underground stronghold, and convert these into beacons.
The objective is to build a pretty significant set of beacons on top of a zombie spawner. So now we got to get ready for that build. We're going to take that rail system over to the spawner. We're going to need a little bit of obsidian and I think glass to turn the stars into beacons. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. Now, where the heck is this? Not here. Redstone. Okay, so it's underneath all the redstone stuff. So 3 obsidian and 5 glass. So now we've got our beacons. I'm gonna put this one back. I'm gonna fast forward through the rest of this section here where I organize my inventory and get all the items needed to complete the build of the pyramid that the beacons are going to go on. It requires a lot of iron, so we're going to get quite a few stacks of iron. We're going to just set up our mining tools and make sure we're ready to rock. And then I'll come back and we'll head out to the zombie spawner. Okay, so we're all done setting up our inventory, collected a little bit of XP there. Now we're heading over. Actually, we're going to the first spawner I ever built. Just going to do a quick walkthrough here, perhaps, just to show you what it looks like. The spawner is just directly above this room. And put a little enchanting room on the side over here. Just want to check and see. You know, I don't think I'm going to need any cobblestone. Probably going to get a lot while we're cleaning out the area. But the zombies here drop down through that glass tower right there, go down 21 blocks until they're ready. They're basically at a one-hit kill. So now we're going to head over to the spawner that we're going to build the large set of beacons on the top of. I really like this spawner. It's become my favorite little AFK place. It's a little bit more fun to use than the one I had before. It's right up there. So we're going to run up here. That's the Fleming drawbridge. I just built that the other day. So we're going to go up next to the spawner over here. And then I have to figure out, I think I'm going to put the base of the beacon right on top of the spawner. So you can see the zombies coming out now. See, there it is. The spawner's right inside that. Just a standard 9x9 room. And the spawner is in the center of the room. The ceiling for the room is about 2 blocks above top of the spawner. I've got a half slab in there on top of the spawner, so nothing spawns on top of that. So what I want to do is figure out how far to dig up here to just be working on the ceiling that's directly above the spawner. After I find that, I think I'll just fast forward again through the cleaning out of the room above this thing to lay down the base of the beacon, and then I'll be right back. Cleaned out this 9x9 area, started laying down a little bit of iron to make the base of the beacon. Now we're going to run down and collect some XP. And it looks like I had the my setting wrong on my collection system here. I had the lava flowing in the whole time, so I'm going to have to go back up probably. Yeah, I wanted you to see this. I want to describe it to you. Yeah, I had that set incorrectly, so now I got to run up and get these zombies cleaned out. They're all collected up here instead of being down on top of the slime block ready to be shot out. I just got to see how they're all lined up in here. It's pretty cool. I'll just run over here and get them flowing back down again real quick. There they go. And for those of you who've seen the video on how I made this thing, I made it a little bit manual to make it simpler to build. And as a result, every once in a while I might set it wrong. But it's okay, they just drop down like this. And now we'll just run down and shoot them into the lava and collect our XP and be on about our way. Alright, we're all set now. Just shoot them up in the lava, collect a little bit of XP. I think I'm going to dump off a little bit of the cobblestone I've got here. And then maybe I'll do, I've got to take off for a little while, so probably I'll just do an AFK session. Come back, do one of these little XP collection things again. And then we'll go up and finish building the first 9x9 portion of the beacon. Now these guys are all down to the one-hit kill. They got cooked by the lava. Let's reset it this time so I don't forget that. Excellent. Okay. So now I'm going to set Steve up on top of this block right here and just go AFK. When I come back, I'm just going to fast forward through the next little XP collection, and then I'll slow things down when I start making the beacon. Okay, so we're back from that AFK session. What we're going to do now is make the base for the first beacon, and like I said earlier, 9x9. You can make your beacon bases out of any of the valuable blocks: gold, diamond, emeralds, iron. Certainly for me, iron is the cheapest resource to use. And then you want to make it, if you make it 9x9 on the bottom of it, then you get the maximum distance that the effects will be good for. Now, after you make your first one, then you can just add on another row and you can get the effect from the next beacon without burning up as much resources. I'll show you how to do that in a little while. So that's why I'm just setting up this first one. And then after I do this, I'm going to just dig straight up. Like I said before, it's not that far up to the top of this world. It's basically dirt right above us here. So I think what I'll do now is fast forward through digging straight up and setting it up so we can put the first beacon on it. So we've cleaned out a slot up there where the 5 beacons can shine through. I'm not quite sure yet whether I'm going to clean out the whole area above it. Now we just got to start building the pyramid up. So I certainly will have to dig up a little bit around where the pyramid's going to go. You don't have to have air blocks above the pyramid. You could have whatever blocks you want on top of it. But I think what I'm going to do here is just clean out the area right above where the pyramid's going to go as well. So we're almost done building the base now, and we'll start digging up around it, and then go up and put the beacon on the top. So maybe I'll fast forward through the section here where I'm just going to clean out this and start putting the blocks, building the pyramid up. notice here there are times when I dig straight up. There's no problem with that as long as you know there's no lava. The probability of finding lava here is really slim. Plus, we've already been up there, so we know there's nothing up there. I mean, maybe I might hit some gravel or something might drop down on me, but I don't think that's going to be an issue at all. So you just got to be smart. Use when you're going to do this kind of excavation. Okay, so here we are just finishing off the top of the pyramid so we can place our first beacon on it. So let's see if this thing works. Alright, there we go. First one's up and running. Now we're going to have to go down and get a block or an ingot of iron, because you need either a diamond or an emerald or an ingot of gold or an ingot of iron to select what you want the beacon to do and then to activate it. So we'll go up and I'll show you how that works. So you can open up the beacon and then see the, I want haste here because I've got a lot of builds to do. So you can use the iron or the gold or the diamonds or emeralds. So I'm going to use the iron because it's cheaper. You just place the ingot here and then just hit the check, and now it's running. Now you also get a little regeneration when you build one that's this big. You can see the little swirls coming off, showing that we have the power now. Okay, so now I'm going to figure out which way I want to extend this. I think I'm going to go down that way, and I'll do another layer, and you'll see that you certainly don't need as much iron to do the next beacon, because we're just going to add on basically. So now it's going to be 9 by 10, and then we'll just build the pyramid up, put another beacon on top. Okay, so let's fast forward now. Alright, so we're back from that little section of cleaning it out. Now we're almost ready to put our next beacon right on the top. So you just place them side by side. And now we can figure out what we want to select. I think I'm going to do jump boost because I'm doing so much building around here. Yes. Okay. So just click on what you want. Put your ingot in this box. Click the check again. And we're rocking. Fantastic. Well, now you know how this thing works. We're just going to add on another couple layers so we can put 5 beacons on the top. I've got to run back to my underground stronghold and get a little bit more iron to finish this off. I think what I'll do is maybe cut the video out here and come back after we've got all 5 on top and let you have a look at the finished product. Alright, so I went down, got the iron, extended the pyramid, put some more beacons on the top, and now we've got all 5. So this is basically the finished product. If you want to, you can put stained glass on the top of these and change the color. So you see I selected speed here, and then regeneration, of course, and then strength in this one, and then resistance here. So this will keep us in good stead. If you do put the stained glass on the top, these will just change colors. It's kind of cool. You can also put any any solid block on the top of these to cut off the signal if you want to change it. I'm not sure why people would do that, but I've seen some people do that. So let's run outside and take a look at what this thing looks like from above ground.
So the beacons need to be able to shine freely out into the sky, unobstructed. I have tried to set up a beacon in the nether. I dug all the way up to the top of the nether, had the beacon set up shining on the bedrock, and I was not able to make it work. But that was before the latest update in the game, so I'm not sure if there's any way to make a beacon work in the nether. I was not able to do it. So here's the area that we cleaned out. Beacons are shining straight up to the sky. Hope you enjoyed the video. This is Wes, and I'm out.